What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. I mean, come on, man, what a surprise. Who would have guessed that Skratch is coming with another video? I heard a lot of you guys are having issues with the Hydra clan boss, especially with the red head and with the blight head, being a massive pain in the A for a lot of you guys out there. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you a team on how to run this rotation better. I'm gonna share with you a couple of extra tips in what you need in the team in order to achieve better results. And of course, we're gonna talk about a few champions that are huge for this rotation. If we're going all the way to the Hydra, guys, so I do have a couple of clanmates still using champions that strip buffs. Honestly, I feel like it's bad. You should just scrap them off the list, scrap off Kymar, scrap off champions that strip buffs, because they won't be as great on this rotation. You can actually use different things to your advantage to get much better damage. So Riven right here, he did this yesterday to Hanorach. Awesome champion. I don't own her personally, but he's the best champion for block buffs, debuff, because she's void and she brings so much to the team, okay? But the second best champion, guys, is not even a legendary. Umbral Enchantress, okay? So that's my team that I'm gonna show you right now, guys. So what you wanna do with Umbral is literally lock the A3. Never ever use the A3. A1 and A2 only. So the main idea is in the next way. This skill right here, on a 3-turn cooldown fully booked, has a 100% chance to land block buffs debuff for 3 turns. So that means that as long as this champion is faster than every single head that you fight, you're always gonna have block buffs on the enemy team. So no toxic clouds, no attack up, immunity and reflect damage on the head of red. The head of mischief, even if he manages to steal buffs from your team, is only gonna end up with the middle finger and some of your turn meter, because he won't be able to land those buffs on himself, you know? So that makes her super amazing, okay? I'm gonna talk with you about a couple of different ways to tackle the red head as well. You wanna have attack down, okay? The main purpose that Krisk is serving in my team, on the normal team, was always to have attack down, increase speed, decrease speed. I have Lydia here, I have increased speed. Decrease speed, this time around, I actually gave accuracy to my Royal Guard, and he's gonna do that job for me. I'm gonna target the most annoying heads with his A3. So if the head of mischief is the fastest in the team, he's gonna bring me in a lot of issues. I'm gonna try to decrease the speed on that one, and the head of blight. Those are the 2 fastest heads in this rotation. So as long as I manage to keep that under control, I should be in a much better place than usually, okay? So that being said, let me show you something quick. I actually used this team last night. The exact same team that I normally run, but I'm running it with Umbral Enchantress instead of Kymar, okay? Now what happened is that, you can see on the screen, 36 point something million damage. Skratch took the hammer, smashed it in his head. They devoured my damage dealers. I couldn't get 600k more damage to get that 1 key. So I had to back out, and I'm gonna have to retry it. I didn't have the time to do it just yet today. I'm gonna try it later on. But basically, that's what happened, guys. Definitely not a lot of fun. This was the full team. Royal Guard, Husk. We have an Umbral Enchantress, Duchess, Lydia, and Krisk, okay? If you don't have Lydia, you might have a Venus. Maybe. Try to use her. Start with the HP burn if you want to. But if you have Umbral Enchantress in the team, you don't have to worry about that HP burn. The reason why I have Lydia over Venus is because I have increased speed, more consistent for her on the Nightmare. I care more about having that on Nightmare than I care it on Brutal, because on Brutal their stats are a bit lower. Now enough with all this. I had massive bad luck. I had to back out. C'est la vie. Let's jump in here and let me make a preset actually on the team. So I'm gonna start with her with the A1. I wanna have decrease attack first. Decrease attack is very important for the redhead. If no, you're gonna get wrecked. Keep that in mind. We're gonna start with that just in case if he doesn't. We're gonna lock this, do not use. Open that. Nothing for Lydia. We're going like that. Auto, and let's have a look. So what I'm doing personally on this rotation, the first head that I want out of here is the Head of Blight, okay? That one needs to go. Then you can focus the Head of Red. One thing I discovered yesterday, actually, if you use HP burn, every HP burn tick that drops in from a different enemy, even if you don't target the Head of Red, is gonna activate one turn on this counter here, okay? So make sure you are aware of it. You're counting that as well. The HP burn ticks, they activate that like you actually hit him. So the secret skill is gonna activate much faster with HP burn. That's something you wanna keep in mind. Now, since we have block buffs, debuff constantly on the entire team, we can't really get messed up too often. One thing on this rotation right here is I'm using Rector Dread just to show you guys how is the whole kind of like situation working. You see, block buffs, debuff coming again in play. We are doing pretty good damage to all of these heads, so most probably we will be taking them down in a decent time. We are healing our champions pretty good. They are not getting destroyed by the red head because I do have attack down on him. That is very important. Now, if you don't have a Padma for attack down, you might have Stagnite. Stagnite is not great because of the affinity, okay? So that means that he might be getting weak hits on the Head of Red and you won't be landing attack down on him and he's gonna wreck you, okay? So if you want to avoid that, maybe use the Orc one. I kind of forgot his name right now. We're going to have a look at champions in a second. But it runs much, much better with a champion like that. What's his name, though? Can anyone actually remind me? Duck the Pierce. That's his name. You see, try to put a Toxic Cloud. There is no room to do it. So we're taking this head down first. Okay? If you're on higher difficulties, the chances of having the same head to respawn are super low, okay? So probably are like 10% for the same heads to respawn. So you don't have to worry so much about the same heads dropping in again. I don't have attack down. I'm going to target to put that attack down again and keep everyone under control. Once I take that head down, I'm focusing the Head of Red. Because that's a big threat as well. I could focus that head directly, but I feel like he'll be dealing so much damage constantly that it might put me in a bad spot. Like this, enemy max HP hits, they're kind of equalizing the damage on pretty much all of them slowly. But this one is gonna die first because I'm doing so much more damage on him with the A1s, with the rest of the skills from the rest of the champions, you know. So he should be going down pretty soon. One thing is that on lower difficulties, the chances of having the same head to spawn again are much higher, you know. So that kind of goes from different champ to different difficulty to different difficulty. Sorry. So we got that head down. Seems like Head of Torment is going down as well. Let's try to kill it actually if we can. Actually, no, we got fear there. I'm still gonna go for that one to target it first. Let's get a bit of a heal. Umbral, she's kind of going down slowly. Okay, that should be dead. All the fear disappeared. And now, let's focus the Head of Red, man. Let's take that head down and pray for the best. But that's kind of the way it goes. I'm not gonna do the whole key, guys, because I definitely do not want to waste my key just yet here. I want to see what I'm doing on the other ones, just in case if I mess something up on Nightmare, on Brutal, and I might need a third key, and I might skip on Hard. But okay, the same head came back actually. It's not awful, not awful. Let's give them that. And slowly we can kill this head as well. You see, we have a couple of more hits that we can land on him without getting in trouble, and we should be getting him down. I'm not gonna attack the Head of Red with my support champion because it's not gonna do enough damage to kill it, and I'm just gonna pick up the counter. I'm gonna go with Padma and let's take it down slowly, you know. And if I'm losing Padma, it's even better. Even better. You've seen he actually used the secret skill before he died. What a nasty head. He can be pretty annoying, guys. Let's decrease the thermometer a bit on all the rest. When we're gonna kill the Head of Mischief, we're actually gonna decrease their thermometer. The Toxic Head cannot do nothing. And that's the skill he always prioritizes, you know. Bang, we kill that one, decrease the turn meter on all the rest. We are on turn 34 with 8.5 million damage. This team can definitely go in for a much longer time here. And we can get a 1 key with similar champions. Now, my gear might be a bit better. So, you might need to make 2 keys, have a team similar with this, use something else. But the main idea is these are the key things that you need on this rotation. If you don't have Krisk, which is huge, or to Hanorak, you need to have an attack down, and you need to have a block, buffs, debuff in order to succeed and achieve great results on the Hydra clan boss, guys, okay? P.S. guys, I forgot to show you stats on the champions. I'm only gonna show you stats on Umbral Enchantress because I showed you stats on the other champions multiple times in different videos that I made on the Hydra, probably on 20 different videos, but I never showed you Umbral Enchantress. So, I've told you, you wanna have her faster than any head on the clan boss, okay? Because like that, you're gonna be able to keep the block buffs, debuff on every single one of them all the time. So this is the build that I have on her. She is built for Nightmare Hydra, okay? So don't get discouraged by the stats you see. I am doing Nightmare, the hardest difficulty with her, and they are destroying my entire team. So I need her to be pretty solid. But I have 40k HP, 4.6k attack, defense, 255 speed, a bit of crit rate, 393 accuracy. In terms of masteries, tier 6 we have War Master, and you really want to make sure you are getting Master Hexer as well. That's just to help you out if the Head of Mischief decides to be nasty and steal a lot of turn meter from your team. You will be taking tons of turns, so if this comes in play time to time and is on a 4-turn cooldown, this can help you pretty good. And that's about it in terms of masteries and build for Umbral and Enchantress, guys. But talking about a few other champions that are gonna be great on this rotation, especially block buffs, debuff champions, okay? You want them AoE. Now, Umbral Enchantress is the second best after Hanorak, in my opinion. Then we have Norog, okay? So if we're going all the way right here, I'm not saying he's number 3. I'm not saying he's number 3. But he is one champion that has this AoE, okay? On a 3-turn cooldown for 2 turns. That makes him pretty solid. Magic Affinity, that's the only problem. We do have Ugo as well, and I think she's from the Ogrin tribes, correct? On a 3-turn cooldown with defense down. Magic Affinity again, and she hits, that's the problem. We have as well Gurptuk Mossbeard. He just brings in a bit of extra damage, a bit of a cleanse, a bit of a heal. On a 3-turn cooldown, so if you don't have an Umbral Enchantress, you've done this fusion, you can definitely use him because Umbral Enchantress, she does bring one thing to the table that he doesn't, and that is having that AoE hit to land more War Masters. What he brings to the table are the poisons on your team. And these ones, I'm not sure if they can be detonated by the enemy head. The Head of Blight can detonate the poisons, deal damage on your team. So it might not be the wisest thing to do and use Gurptuk on this rotation. But if you don't have a better one, just go and do it, guys, because you gotta do what you gotta do. We do have on the demon spawns as well. Where is he? More to Macab. Spirit Affinity, Head of Rat, Magic Affinity, attack up, reflect damage, all the rest of the things can be pretty painful. Now, the good thing about him is that he has 2 hits, so the chances are a bit lower to get weak hits every single time, but this is on a 4-turn cooldown for 2 turns, which will make it very difficult for you to keep this debuff up, especially if the cleanser head comes out after you kill one, you're gonna be in a bit of a pickle there. So these are kind of like the key champions. Maybe I missed somebody that has AoE block buffs. Possible. Hopefully I haven't. Attack down champions, okay? Stag Knight, I've told you why I wouldn't use him because of the affinity and the red head. But I would use Dark the Pierced instead, maybe. Defense down, and we have decreased attack. So that means that I could drop Lydia from there because I have defense down and bring in a different sort of champion to assist my team. Madame series, defense down, attack down on a 4-turn cooldown can work pretty good. but you don't really need a stripper in there to strip buffs since you have block buffs, debuffs, so you might be able to fill that slot with a different champion. If you've done the fusion, again, it's not the right affinity, but if you have no better choice for attack down, Iron Brago, you put defense up, you do this, land attack down. But he can get weak hits on the head of red, and he's the main issue. You need attack down specially for that specific head, you know. There are a few different other champions that have attack down. I would personally prefer to go with attack down AoE. Some of the other heads, they do deal some serious damage, so it's better for you to be protected, to say like that, you know. But guys, that was all for this video. Hopefully it helps some of you guys out there to understand the new mechanics a bit better for this rotation. Will improve your damage, get that 1 key, 2 key, or whatever you can do, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Much love, peace.